Hello friends, welcome back. This is Amit from Magnet and I'm using Element 3D almost 10 years now. So I decided to make a tutorial series on Element 3D basic training and which is called the things you should know about Element 3D. And in this episode, we're going to learn that how you can import the 3D object from the different sources and what will the problem we face while importing any kind of 3D object inside Element 3D. So let's begin. But before we start, I have to clear that the Element 3D doesn't run without a dedicated graphics card. So if you have any NVIDIA or AMD graphics card, you can run Element 3D easily. But make sure that you always update your graphics driver properly. So let's begin. So first we create a new composition. So create a new composition here and make a solid in order to apply the element effect here and name this as element. And we hit OK. And make a room here and then go over this effect and presets and search for the video copilot element. And here is the thing that some of my followers ask me that they don't find this video copilot folder inside this effect and presets panel. I have to say that it's a third-party plugin, so you have to install the element plugin for After Effects, and after that you will find the element effect here inside the video copilot. So just double click here and you will apply Element 3D successfully, and then we go to the scene setup. So the required format for a 3D model in order to import it inside Element 3D is the OBJ. So if you have a 3D model which the format is OBJ, you can import the model very easily. So let's see, I have a Spiderman model here which is the OBJ format and I want this model imported inside Element 3D. So how we do this? So just go to this import button here and select this OBJ Spiderman model here, just select and just click on open. And then you will see this dialog box here and it says the materials. So if you check this box, that is the load materials, it will load the material for you. And then go over here, that is the physical shader. In the previous version of Element 3D, there are only the standard shaders there, but in the version 2 they implemented the physical shaders. So we select these physical shaders here and it says the diffuse map, the specular map and the bump map and the reflection map, and it says that these are the format that Element 3D can recognize for those maps. And now there is the option called the use auto normals and invert normals. So I'll come to this point later on. And here you can see that the force alignment. So in default, the alignment set to the model center, and we can talk about it later on. And now just hit OK. So now you can see that the Spiderman model is imported here, but you can see that the model size is very small here. So first you have to do one thing, that you go over here and you will see that the normalized size. So just check this box and it will make the model to its actual size here. Okay, now we come to the alignment part. So when we imported the model, we leave this as the model center here. So you can see that if you leave it as model center, the model is loaded just like this. Okay, and this grid shows the plane of our 3D environment. So if you create a plane here, so you can see that there is the box and you can create some of the primitives here. So if we make a plane here, and this plane represents the ground of our environment. Okay, so now we can select this plane and increase the scale to maybe 500. And then if you go to this Spiderman model here and go to this alignment and set this to bottom, now you can see that it placed above the surface. Okay, so now you can understand that what alignment means. So you can change this to front, side as well as the right or left. You can see if you change here, the position of the model also change. So this is how you can import any 3D object here. But what about the object is in other format other than OBJ format? So how you import this? So let's see that this is the same Spiderman model that I just imported here, but the format is the DAE. So how you can import this inside Element 3D? So it is impossible to import the model other than OBJ format. So here we have to get some help from the other 3D softwares. So you can use the Cinema 4D or Blender or Maya Max, anything you want. So I'm using Blender to convert the format. So first we delete all those presets here, and then we go to the file and go to the import, and the format I show you is the DAE format, but you can also convert other formats like FBX, which is very popular for 3D models, and we also get some models that have the FBX format, so you can just select this FBX format for those models. And also you can see that the GLB and GLTF formats here as well. So any format you downloaded, any sites, and the format is other than the OBJ, you can convert it to OBJ by using those 3D engines. So first we import this model, that is the DAE format here, and let's find the model here. So here is the model, and we select this and just import here. Okay, so now you can see that the Spiderman model here. So how you can convert it to OBJ format? It is very easy. Just go to the file, go to this export, and you will see that the wavefront OBJ. Okay, and then you have to specify the path where you want to export this model. So it will generally the video copilot folder and the model, and then you go to create a folder, specific folder for this, or you can just use a existing folder you want. Okay, so it's all depends on you. So in this way you can convert your any formats into OBJ format, which can be used inside Element 3D. Okay, so we have successfully imported a 3D object inside Element 3D. Now we have to texture this. So for this you can see that it is not pre-textured, so we have to texture it properly. So how we do this? So we have these two material slots here, but you can get more than 2 material slot according to your model. So here is all the texture file that also comes with this model. So we have to put those texture into its specific slots here. So first we select this one, and you will see when you select this, you will see those slots, that is the diffuse, glossiness, all those slots here. So we have to put those texture here. So here you can see that this is called the albedo, and albedo means the diffuse map. So we have to click and just drag it to its slot here. Now you can see that the metallic, so metallic goes to glossiness part. Okay, and now you see this normal bump map, so just click and drag it to this normal bump slot here. Okay, and you can also see that the reflectivity, but there is no reflectivity map. So you just do one thing, that just copy this glossiness map, just copy it and paste it to the reflectivity. It will also work for a reflectivity map as well. And you can also see there is the ambient occlusion map. You can just put it here, or we have the ambient occlusion function inside Element 3D setting. So we can also make ambient occlusion by turn the ambient occlusion on. So if you want, you can put it here, but it's not necessary for this. Okay, and now we have to do the texturing for this material as well. So again, select this material, and you can see that those slots here, and we have those materials as well. So first we put this one into this diffuse map, and then we have this emissive light. Okay, so emissive means anything that glow when you render. So if you have anything like this emissive kind of texture, you can put it into the illumination channel here. Okay, and then we have this metallic, just put it in the glossiness, and then we copy this and paste it to the reflectivity map here. And then we have this normal, just put it into this normal bump map. But whenever you have any kind of emissive texture here, you have to do one thing, but you can see that this texture is nothing here. So if you turn on this illumination amount, you will see nothing because this texture is empty. But this texture is present here, so I put it here. But if you have, maybe we can just copy this and paste it to this illumination channel. And if we go to this illumination value, and if you increase this and just set this color to white, you can see that it glowing. Okay, but it not look right, so we have to disable this and also reset this. Okay, and we do one thing, that just clear this illumination channel here. Okay, because we don't need this here. Okay, so this is how you can put the texture. So sometimes my followers also told me that the model is not pre-textured, so how we do texturing. So this is how you can put all the texture file into this material slot, and you will get this kind of nice looking texture on your model here. Okay, so we done texturing here, but one thing you have to see that the texture quality is very bad here. It's because we have this draft texture turned on. If we just turn this off, first you can see that the texture resolution is not so good. So if we just turn this off, now you can see the actual resolution of your texture. But sometimes we face some issue that even after you uncheck this draft texture value, you still not getting the actual resolution here. So what is the problem there? So if you go to the file and go to this preference button here, you will see that the map size limit option here. And in default it's set to 4K. But if you expand this, you will see there are 4 types of resolution here, that is a 1K, 2K, 4K and the 8K. So it means that Element 3D can load up to 8K texture into its viewport. So if you set it to 1K and just hit OK, you will see that the resolution of the map is decreased to 1K. And you will see that the resolution is not so good here. So make sure that whenever if you see that even after you uncheck this draft texture value, but still you see the resolution is not good, so make sure that you increase the map size limit here up to the actual resolution of your texture. So if we set it to 4K and then hit OK, and now you will see that this actual resolution of your texture. So this is how you can import a static object inside Element 3D. But sometimes we faced some problem like this, that if I go here, that is the test model I imported, and if I click on here, you will see that the model is imported here, but you can't see this. It's because sometimes the model is very small to see. So what we'll do, just click on here, there's a normalized size. But now is the real problem is that you can see that the model looks something like this. It's look all flat here. If you face this kind of problem, you just select this object here and go down here, and from the surface option you will see these normals, and the default value is the form model. But if you expand this, and you will see these auto normals, so just click and you will see that it fixes the issue. So back to the Spiderman model. So once you complete your model texturing here, you can do one thing, that just delete this plane here and just make your model self here, and then you just right click here and you just select this save model preset, and then you specify the path. In this case the Spiderman folder is right for this, and just hit OK and you override this. Maybe you not see this dialog box because I have already saved this model preset, but in the first time you not seeing this. So just click yes, and then if you delete this and then you go to this folder, that is the Spiderman folder, and you will see that the model is ready to use just by one click. So this is how you can put any static object inside Element 3D. But what about a moving object like the OBJ sequence? So in order to import any OBJ sequence here, you first go to the file. Instead of this import button here, first you go to the file and then you go to this 3D sequence, and here is the OBJ sequence model that I am going to use here. So when you put any OBJ sequence, you will get all the OBJ files here, but you don't have to select all those files. You just have to select the first one here and then just hit open, and then you just hit OK here. And again the model is very small here, so just click on this normalized size, and now you will see that this OBJ sequence model here. And when you import any OBJ sequence, you will see this option also, that is the bake animation, and it says that the first frame is 1, it start from the 1 frame, and the end frame is 167 for this model. So if you increase this value, that is the start frame, you will see that the start frame offset here, and you will see the animation here. So this is how you can import any obj sequence here. But if you go here, that is the animated astronaut obj sequence here, you just go here, and I already saved the preset here, so I just click on here, and you will see that it's imported here readily. It's because when I done material, all those things here, I just click on right click here and I save this model preset here. Okay, but whenever you save your model preset into the same folder which also hold all those obj sequence here, you will see that it will took little time to show all these models here. And you can also see that in here you will see that it shows your graphics card and also shows that how much memory available in your graphics card and how much memory it consumes while loading those models here. So if you want to make things fast, you can do one thing, that you go to your model browser. So here is the animated astronaut folder, and just click on here, just go inside here, and you will see all the objs and the E3D file here. Okay, so you can do one thing, that select all the files and just deselect the texture and the E3D files, and just Ctrl X to cut them and create a new folder here. Okay, and then go inside this folder and just paste all those obj sequence here. Okay, and you only have the E3D file outside from this new folder and the texture. Okay, so just close this and close this and also close this. Okay, so there is nothing, and then we go to the scene setup again, and there is the animated astronaut, and you will see that when you select this animated astronaut, you can still see this animated astronaut shape model here, but you can see here that it only consumes only 851 megabyte from your entire graphics memory. It is because it not load all the obj models here, so it is little fast to work with. Okay, and now if you click on here, and you still see your model here, but you can see that the memory consumed is less than the previous. And this is how you can import any obj sequence here and optimize your system. Okay, so now we all have a question, that there is only 5 groups. Okay, and each group contain a 10 auxiliary animation channel as well. So you can put 10 different models in a same group, and you can put them into one auxiliary channel number 1, and maybe you can put this astronaut model in a same group here and also put them in another auxiliary channel. So in that way, if I hit OK here, and if I go to this camera tool and place it here, you can see that these 2 models are inside the group number 1. And if I go to this group number 1 and I create a group null object to control this group, and you can see that there is the null object, and if I press P and change the position here, so we can change the position both of this model here. But what about if I want to move this model individually? So for this, you go to this element layer and go to this auxiliary channels, go to the channel number 1, and I can control these models individually, and go to this group number 2 and I can change the position of the astronaut, but both of this model are in the same group. Okay, so in this way you can put 10 models in a same group and you can move them individually. So if we go to the scene setup, and you will see that there is 5 groups and each group contain the 10 auxiliary channels. So you can put 50 models at a time and you can animate them individually. But what if you have more than 50 models to animate? So how will you do this? So if you have more than 50 models, then one thing you have to do, that you just hit OK, and then you go to this element effect and just press Ctrl D, or just simply duplicate this. Okay, so in this way we can only see these second element layer, not the first element layer. Okay, so if we go to this first element layer, I mean the element effect, and go to the scene setup, and let's see, we duplicate this astronaut model here. Just press Alt and move any gizmo here. You can duplicate this and place it here. Okay, and also we place this in a auxiliary channel number 3, so we can animate it individually, and then hit OK, and you will see that there is no other astronaut model. It's because that this second element layer is hide this first element effect. Okay, so but if you put a more than 50 elements in a same composition, you have to work with both of these element effects. So how will you do this? So let's go to this second element layer and go to the scene setup, and to distinguish this element layer with the previous element layer, we just change the position of these models, so we can recognize that these models are belongs from this second element effect, and just hit OK. And now you can see the only models that is from the second element effect. But how can you see the first element model with this second element model? So we go to this first element model, and just we collapse all those things, and we just go to this render mode and go to this full render. We expand this, and you will see that unified option here, and you just click on this, and now you can see the elements from the first element layer as well as with the second element layer models as well. So now if you move your camera, you can see both of the models from the different element effect. So in this way you can put limitless model into the same composition by just duplicating the element effect here and set it to unified. Okay, instead of full render, you set it to unified, and the render quality will not degrade. It just merge the first element layer with the second element layer. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, and this is how you can put more than 50 models, and you can also control them individually. So this is the basics of how you can import any 3D object inside Element 3D, and I hope I cover all the options and all the problems that we faced while we importing any 3D object inside Element 3D, and I hope you find this video useful. So if you learn something from this video, you just let me know in the comment section below, and if you are new to this channel, I recommend you to check my other videos, and if you find those videos useful, you definitely subscribe this channel and turn the notification on. And here is the name for those people who has already joined me as a member. So if you really want to support me, you can also join me as a member. So I am Amit, and we will see my next video. So till then, take care and bye bye.